Chapter 29. I don't know how much time had passed when I woke up. The sun was in the same place as before, just the bustle from the street was gone. Boris? Boris? Are you awake? It was creepy how Boris slept with his eyes open. You could not be sure if he slept or not. Boris?
What? Can't you see that I'm sleeping?
Sorry, I just wanted to wake you up. You have to help me find something to eat before we crawl down to the employment agency.
I ain't your mom.
Boris mumbled, tired.
You can go and find something yourself.
But I don't know where to look.
Well, that is not my problem,
Boris said. But then he felt bad and added,
There's probably something you can eat in the dumpster. People throw away all kinds of stuff in there.
But that's disgusting. I can't eat garbage. I looked with disgust at the dumpster.
Then don't. You have two choices. You can crawl into the dumpster or find something else to eat. Now let me sleep.
I sat and stared at the dumpster. Then my stomach started to grumble again. What could I do? I pulled myself up to the edge and managed, after much effort, to fall down on top of the garbage bags, and a great swarm of flies bounced up and angrily began to fly around my head. It stinks down here. Boris? Boris! There's flies everywhere. One of them flew into my mouth. Boris?
Great, then you just have to chew and swallow. Flies are very nutritious.
I began to rummage through chicken bones, dishwashing gloves, and cans. I found a pack of muffins that had just passed its expiry date, plastic bottles, and a cat, for some reason. I guess it had died and someone had thrown it in the trash. At least, I preferred that image rather than the opposite. It went on like that until I found a real gold mine. Used tampons. Some of them were dry, but if I put them in my mouth and started to suck, the blood loosened up a little bit.
Oh my God,
I mumbled with the tampons in my mouth.
That's so good.
I sucked the tampons clean and began to rummage through the garbage with renewed energy. Unfortunately, that was all I found. But I still felt proud somehow. I had managed to find my own food. I woke up Boris. Boris? Boris, I managed to find my own food.
That's great.
Boris?
What?
You have to come with me to the employment agency.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Sir Lanka, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's great. We have to be the first ones there when they open. And if we get there first, we will not have to stand in line. We can just get an appointment straight away.
Fine. Just let me get ready and then we can leave.
Then he lay there for a moment, without doing anything. After 5 minutes, I had to ask, What are you doing?
I'm trying to do a sit-up.
A sit-up?
Yes, it's part of my morning exercise. You should also work out. If you really want to become a superstar, you have to learn how to walk.
I do?
Well, of course. Imagine that you were going to make a movie, and you're supposed to play a historical person.
I want to be a rock star superstar, not a movie superstar.
What?
I would prefer to be a rock star superstar. I just wanted to say that, so that there aren't any misunderstandings.
Right. Sir Lanka, you have to be more realistic about this. You have to be prepared that you might not get the record contract straight away. It's like you said, if they don't have any rock star jobs right now, you have to have some menial job like the lead role in a movie in the meantime. And most people walk, so you also have to learn how to do it. Actors often have to do things like that. They have to research about the person that they will play.
It sounds tedious, I said anxiously. Do I really have to learn how to walk, even if I just want to act until I get a record contract?
Yes,
Boris laughed.
You don't have to like it, and if you want, you can crawl in your spare time. That is your decision. But you still have to master it. What if you're supposed to play a general in the 18th century and you were discussing the war with the other general, walking through the camp, and you were crawling by his side?
I tried to picture that.
Or the runner who's called the world's fastest man after he smashed the world record, and then later everyone found out that he had doped himself.
Then I got another picture in my head, with me bent down over the starting block. The speakers counted down, On your mark, get set, go. And then everyone was off. They ran as fast as they could until they ran over the finish line. Then they turned around and looked at me. I had not even finished a quarter of the track. This was supposed to be the scene in the movie when I smashed the world record and was crowned the world's fastest man. I crawled as fast as I could, People smirked and I crawled as fast as I could. When I finally crawled over the finish line, the speaker said,
Well, it's perhaps not the fastest, but it certainly is a world record. Nobody before in the history of the world has somebody crawled 100 meters in more than 2 minutes and 13 seconds.
And then everyone began to laugh at me. And to make things worse, later everyone found out that the world's slowest man was doped. Okay, you're right, I said. That would be ridiculous. How do I learn to walk?
You don't have to do it now. It is more like something you should consider. Right now, he said, we should crawl down to the employment agency before they steal all the rockstar jobs.
So we crawled down to the employment agency. But to my dismay, it was already open, and there was a huge line outside the door. Didn't you say that the employment agency opened at 8 o'clock?
I thought so, but they must have. I don't know,
Boris said.
What do we do now?
Well, I ain't gonna stand in that line and wait. I'm just going to crawl past them.
No, please, Sir Lanka, don't.
But I didn't listen, but just crawled past the line. Hey! Someone grabbed hold of me as I was about to crawl through the door. What the fuck are you doing? I'm sorry, I said as I tried to free myself. I just want to get inside so I can apply for a job. And why do you think the rest of us are here? The guy said and pointed at the line. Is that the line to get a job? No, it's the line so that you can register to get a job coach that will yell at you and make you feel bad for not having a job to thus give you the right motivation to get a job. And if I don't want to get yelled at and feel bad for not having a job, can I just... You don't have a choice. You're only allowed to look for a new job after the job coach has yelled at you and made you feel bad. That's the law. Oh, okay then, I said. So where does the line start? Somewhere over there, the guy said, pointing around the corner. We crawled around the corner, but before we disappeared out of sight, I could not help myself but yelled, I thought that this was the line for the bathroom. The line went all the way to the next corner, so we crawled around the next corner and asked a kind woman where the line started, and she pointed further down the road. And when we finally found where it started, you could see the massive skyscraper where the employment agency was, a few blocks down. It was about 10 centimeters tall. Boris, I swear I'll kill you if all the rockstar jobs are taken. Excuse me? I grabbed hold of the leg of the girl in front of me. What kind of job will you apply for?
Oh, any job, really. My original job was nanny, but people these days don't have any children. I'll be happy with anything as long as they don't send me to the camps.
Her answer made me calmer. It seemed like not everybody was thinking about applying for the rockstar jobs after all. As I was standing there in the blistering heat, freaking out because there might be an aspiring rock star somewhere in the line, I noticed there was a huge shadow behind me that suddenly blocked the sun. I turned around, and that was how I met the ostrich, Felix.